Bernie Sanders had a great night on Tuesday. He won Indiana in a stunning political upset, yet CNN had the audacity to actually ask him this.
Senator, just picking up on what you just were talking about, that's a totally understandable argument that the Democratic voters in all of the upcoming states should have a chance for their voices to be heard. But tonight we have a new political reality, as Jake was just saying, where we have a presumptive Republican nominee, and the general election for him is very much beginning. You said earlier tonight about Donald Trump, this is a man who does not have the demeanor, does not have the policy background, or the ideas to become the president of the United States. So
absolutely.
Staying in this race, aren't you effectively making it harder for the Democrats to beat the man who you say would be so bad?
Well, you have already conceded the race for me, and I don't accept that concession. Thank you, Dana, but I don't quite agree with you. We are in this race to win. And what I have said time and time again is that what our campaign has succeeded in doing in a way that the Clinton campaign has not done, we win in almost every election, every state caucus or primary, people 45 years of age or younger. Secretary Clinton does very, very well with older people. The ideas that we are fighting for are the future of America. They are the future of the Democratic Party. And by the way, what we have done is excite an entire generation of people, working people and young people, who are now getting involved in the political process. I think when we go to California, when we go to Oregon, when we go to New Mexico, when we go to all the remaining states, and we have a serious debate on serious issues, I think it generates enthusiasm, gets people involved in the political process, results in a higher voter turnout.
And Senator,
Democrats win when the voter turnout is high.
And Senator, no question you're bringing new people into the fold, and you and your campaign also rightly often point out that you do well in open primaries like Indiana was tonight because there are independent voters. On that note, Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, said last week that their campaign is ready to bring in anyone who feels the burn and that movement that you have started into the Trump campaign if they're not inclined to support Hillary Clinton. I understand that you say that this is not over, and it is not over, and that you're going to continue down the road. But this is a very real thing that the Trump campaign is doing. And do you worry they might have success?
No, I don't.
So she asked him, staying in this race, aren't you effectively making it harder for Democrats to beat the man who you say would be so bad? Really? Do you want to know what makes it harder for Democrats to win in November? What makes it harder for them to win in November is having a candidate as the presumptive nominee, like you like to call her, who is currently being investigated by the FBI. We have no idea what's going to happen, but there's a chance that she can get indicted. And even if there was just a 1% chance that would happen, maybe you would want to pick someone else just because, I don't know, it would make it easier for a Republican to win. You want to know what makes it harder for Democrats to win in November? The fact that Hillary Clinton cannot capture independents. The fact that Hillary Clinton cannot capture the youth vote. Another thing that makes it difficult for Democrats to win in November is having the lowest net unfavorability ratings in modern history. Now, another thing that may hurt Democrats in November is the fact that Hillary Clinton has effectively given the cold shoulder to Bernie Sanders supporters. You have a huge segment of Bernie supporters saying that they're burning your bus and they're not going to vote for you, and her pitch that she made to them was, I'm winning, you have no choice, vote for me.
I am winning.
I am winning.
And one more thing that can harm Democrats in November is if you select a candidate who is going against core tenets of Democratic ideals. So, for example, 81% of Democratic voters are in favor of universal health care, yet Hillary Clinton is not.
Health emergencies can't wait for us to have some theoretical debate about some better idea that will never, ever come to pass.
She was in favor of it until her palms were greased by the health insurance industry. She started giving speeches on their behalf, making millions of dollars. She started taking campaign contributions to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all of a sudden, she doesn't like universal health care. All of a sudden, she has a change of heart. I wonder if the money has anything to do with it. See, that's what's going to hurt Democrats in November. If you put up the weakest candidate you can possibly imagine against the Republican, there are many bad choices in the Democratic Party that you do not want to nominate, but Hillary Clinton is at the top of that list, basically. So when you take into account all of those reasons that I just gave you, If Hillary Clinton and everyone else really cared about defeating Donald Trump and helping Democrats win in November, you want to know what she would do? She would drop out of the race if she actually cared about the country. And this is because when you look at hypothetical matchups between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders outperforms Hillary Clinton, and furthermore, he's viewed as more favorable. He's not being investigated by the FBI currently. So again, Hillary Clinton claims she cares about the Democratic Party. She claims that she cares about voters, and she's running not for narcissistic reasons, but if that were the case, we know what she would do. She would drop out. Now, I also love the irony here. So Dana Bash said, this is a very real thing that the Trump campaign is doing. Do you worry that they might have success? Again, implying that Bernie Sanders should drop out. Well, it's funny that she would say that because the media, CNN included, gave Trump over $2 billion worth of free advertising, and then she has the audacity to turn around and say, aren't you worried that Donald Trump could be successful? Well, don't you have any blame? Are you not going to take responsibility? Donald Trump's rise is fueled in part by excessive media coverage. You gave Donald Trump way more coverage than you gave to even Hillary Clinton, but definitely Bernie Sanders. And then you have the gall to ask Bernie to drop out? No way. That's absolutely ridiculous. And look, we all know why CNN wants Bernie Sanders to drop out. CNN, otherwise known as the Clinton News Network, well, their parent company, Time Warner, is one of Hillary Clinton's top contributors, and they are bankrolling Hillary Clinton's campaign so that way they could potentially buy her off, make her less in favor of net neutrality. They also are hoping that they could grease Hillary's palms and make her a little bit more inclined to support these big mergers between Comcast and Time Warner. So we all know that when CNN does propaganda for Hillary Clinton, what they're doing is the bidding of Hillary Clinton's donor, Time Warner, their parent company. So we know that they're all just puppets. This isn't objective, even neutral journalism. This is complete and utter puppets. Now, the worst part is that they asked him to drop out after he won. He was down in the polls, he was within the margin of error, and he came out on top. And then you ask him to drop out the same night. It's unbelievable. The bias against Bernie Sanders is absolutely quantifiable. It's been done in studies where it shows how the media is definitely biased towards him. And they're not even trying to hide it. CNN, who typically would like to paint the picture that they're, quote, neutral, they're not even hiding it anymore. They just want Bernie Sanders out of the race. And it's frustrating because when Hillary Clinton was in the race in 2008, it eventually became mathematically impossible for her to beat Barack Obama, yet she stayed in the race even after it was mathematically impossible. That is, even if she won with 100% in the remaining races at that point, she still wouldn't have beaten him. Yet, Bernie Sanders, it's going to be difficult, let's be honest. He needs to win by an average of 64%, but that's not impossible. It may be improbable, but it's not mathematically impossible yet. So why are you calling on him to drop out? Just to benefit the Democratic Party? I'm sorry, but if Bernie Sanders is out of this race, that's going to hurt the Democratic Party because people like me, who are traditionally Democratic voters, if he's not the nominee, I'm switching to independent after the convention. Sorry, but that's going to hurt the Democratic Party. I'm not voting for a corrupt candidate. So if you really care about helping the Democratic Party, Dana Bash, then you would pressure Hillary Clinton to drop out. But we all know why you're not going to do that, because you're a puppet for your parent company.